Hello again. So we finally made it to make our first official video with content, and it took quite a while because in the meantime a big volcano erupted over there, and it was very exciting and intense. But luckily, Pele decided to go the softest, most gentle paths she could have taken, not impacting humans, animals, and flora and fauna alike. So it's been very lucky, but very dynamic. And now both Mauna Loa and Kilauea are actually silent, which is kind of amazing as well. Mauna Loa hadn't been erupted in, I believe, 38 years, and Kilauea, which is right next to Mauna Loa, had been erupting for the last 35 years without interruption. So it's been a quite significant time and very powerful to experience these forces existentially, but also from a perspective of its power, its beauty, and its tremendous magnificence. And now today you can see I'm wearing winter clothes. We're having a big storm here on the big island of Hawaii. Everything on this island is big. The weather is big. The occurrences are big. The energies are very big here. So it's quite extraordinary in many ways, but it's also overwhelming at times to take in the forces that you experience here. So anyway, to get to why we are actually here, why I'm here, I decided to read you a transmission today that I transcribed not too long ago. And this transmission is about love, planting the seed of love, which is an appropriate topic, I think, this time of the year, but ultimately every day of our life. So let's begin and see how it goes. And I hope the storm is not going to be too loud and you can hear my voice well. On love. Thank you for opening this book, our book, that we have been creating for a long while. The theme, the profound, mysterious, obvious, and challenging theme of love and compassion, has been on your and our mind naturally, as it pervades all worlds, all realms, all of time and space, and creation itself. In fact, it is the epicenter of creation, along with wisdom, the marriage of love and wisdom. Yet love, as often assumed in the human realm, is not just a feeling, an emotional state. It is an energy field, an elixir, that which creates. In every realm, the degree to which love and wisdom are understood and beckoning to be integrated, rediscovered, explored varies very greatly. The threshold at which the human realm finds itself in is particularly concerned with reintegration and discovery of the energy, the elixir of love, that which unifies and creates. It is the essence of creation in all universes, physical and non-physical alike. The spiritual traditions that have been blossoming on earth have talked and pointed towards the power of love in their own ways, often elaborating on perspectives concerning compassion, especially compassion towards other, as an applicable field, as an expression of this love. Not a bad idea overall, a first step, but unfortunately often insufficient. Hence, as time went on, the search for compassion in the self merely became an expression of moralities and convention, rather than the full opening of the heart center itself, which is an alchemical and evolutionary process alike. In that sense, compassion often got stuck on the level of the idea of good deeds towards others as an aspiration. There is nothing wrong with that, particularly, but from a perspective of morality alone, this love that we are referring to remains to be a mere shadow, lacking the true power and grandeur of its nature. To be a good boy or a good girl won't do anymore, even though it can be a step in the right direction. We are not saying that true acts of kindness and generosity have not occurred and carried their power within the human realm. True empathy that moves a being towards a generosity beyond self-consciousness and judgment has occurred, thankfully so. Albeit the human realm is a realm of intense polarity and intense conditioning. Two pathways emerge: service to self, service to other. The service to self polarity does predominantly lack the essence of the alchemy of love itself, and is based primarily in fear and separation, and therefore expressed through power and control over other. In turn, the service to other polarity carries another challenge or shadow, as it can be overshadowed by conditionings that impose moralities guided by guilt and shame. True service to other is ultimately an expression of connectivity, interconnectedness, and organic interdependence as one has discovered one's heart that begins to blossom beyond fear. So, given the evolutionary journey, both polarities can be corrupted and have been. The heart chakra, when the heart chakra isn't illuminated yet. This is not a criticism or a judgment, merely a description. This opening of the heart chakra, or the emergence of the full-blown heart-centered human, is what is at the heart of this evolutionary juncture on this earth. It would bring about a vastness of possibilities for this world to heal collectively and individually instead of continuing to destroy itself. So where is the seed planted? As always, it begins in the self. That is the only perspective you got. That is your laboratory. That is the primary relationship that needs to be worked out and thankfully can be worked with as you are in a realm that grants you free will. There is no objective perspective as such, just consensus, a form of storytelling, of agreements that humanity has experienced thus far. But we will leave this for another day and know that many of you are deeply familiar with this subject. So, can this seed of love be cultivated and nourished? Yes, within the self, by the self, for the self. And that is possible, especially for a being who has understood and has an awareness of its conditioned and fragmented parts, at least to one degree or another. The conditioned self, in essence, is a separated self, a fragmented self, separated from its own nature, and therefore separated from the full-blown nature of love, which is creation itself. But you do have a say here. Hence, you are granted free will, and because you have a longing, the longing for love that you do carry. So, how to begin to cultivate your superpower, the superpower of love, on your service to other paths? We have to address self-love. How to cultivate it, open to it, nourish it, discover it, remember it. This is not the self-love you colloquially and pathologically describe as narcissism, which is essentially based in trauma and fear, and manifests in the attempt to manipulate others in order to feel whole and safe once again. So compassion with and towards the self is what needs to be cultivated. However confused you may think you are, however messy the whole situation feels, however much you understand all the moving parts of being human, one needs to bring softness and gentleness towards one's own being. For even undergoing this difficult journey in the first place, the human realm is indeed a masterclass. The assignment to move from separation and fragmentation to interconnectedness with self and other. It is not easy to find the way home. In our last conversation, we brought up the need for faith and trust within the experience of being between two worlds. But what is equally needed is self-love, non-aggression, non-judgment towards oneself, returning to the gentle heart over and over and over again. It is the energy of becoming one's own mother, whose love is unconditional, that is planting the seed of love, compassion, and non-judgment. Whenever you find yourself in a state of aggression towards yourself, towards other, whenever it gets too tight, whether you are meeting the iron fist of your entrained conditioned self, or you are simply experiencing challenging emotions that may even arise out of the blue without any apparent context. Soften, soften, remember to soften. Ask yourself, what would I do as a mother? What would I do if I loved myself? Forgive yourself for the difficulty, the suffering you are experiencing in this moment. Serve yourself a cup of tea. Give yourself a gap of warmth towards yourself, for yourself. The whole situation is very soft and gentle. Plant a seed of love energy, heart energy, creation energy. You may not readily feel it. It may not entirely alleviate the state you are finding yourself in. Nevertheless, you are extending a warm, generous hand towards yourself, and and in that moment, you are generating the elixir of love. You are planting a seed of love and therefore awakening it and remembering it. Don't give up. Cultivate gently with care. Mother yourself as often as you need. In time, you will know intuitively how and when to create your gap and what is not nurturing. You don't need to wait until you are in a state of full-blown crisis. So, self-love is of the essence. It is the skillful mean to journey into the heart, the green ray energy, and simultaneously, it is a tool and necessity to traverse the journey in the first place. You are familiarizing yourself and giving yourself the medicine of green ray energy, which is your destiny. It leads you to the experience and expression of compassion for self, and therefore for all that appears to be other in time. Cultivate gently, generate your superpower of love. Thank you.